don't have the energy for this. So I would like snap him back, respond to his text, whatever. I'm coming home for the weekend a couple weeks after that, because I'm in college, right? I'm coming home for the weekend. He's like, will you please come to my hockey game? I'm like, no, I will not be doing that, because I'm not your girlfriend. And he was like, please, like, it would mean so much to me. Like, my mom will be there. Like, I want you to, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, fucking fine. Because I was friends with his friends. Like, I had hung out with them while we were dating, and we got along fine. And I knew they'd be at the game, so it's like, all right.
Until my friend Kirsten asked to see my new puppy, because Kirsten had just got home from college, and she had only ever seen the dog over FaceTime. So we're searching all over the house, and we cannot find my fucking dog. Well, when my parents got home that night, they pretty much grounded me for life. But then I want to say a month later, my friend Jake, who was there that night, called me freaking the fuck out. Like for part 3. Part 3 about how my $12,000 dog got stolen at my house party. So like I said, we couldn't find Mimi. My parents pretty much grounded me for a few of them would require me to go on trips. Well, the one that I went on was an all-girls trip. And before I left, I texted Carson letting him know that I wouldn't have my phone all week. Well, on the last night of my trip, there was a girls and boys dance. There was like a group of boys from a different school that we were meeting up with. And I tried staying back at the cabin, but they wouldn't let me. So we started doing dances that required partners. So I was pretty much forced to dance with one of the boys. Well, when I came back home, I got 100 texts from Carson calling me a bunch of nasty party that we will ever be invited to in our entire lives. So at this point, I start planning to sneak out of my house. So my parents usually go to sleep at around 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and they usually wake up at 5:30 in the morning. But since this party was on a Friday, obviously my parents aren't going to wake up at that time. They'll usually wake up around like maybe 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. So this gave me a perfect amount of time to do what I needed to do, come back, and not get caught. But just in case, I made sure to turn off any alarms on their phone. But I also had to make sure that I had a foolproof plan to get out of the house and get back in. Now, of course, I couldn't go through
make that pistol pop.
First. So I was really proud of him for getting close with my cousins. A little too close, apparently. But there was a night where I felt really sick, and I went to bed, and he stayed out with her. And I was like, this is kind of sus. Like, I don't know how I feel about this, but like, whatever. Yeah, like, he's my boyfriend. I'm glad he's bonding with my family. I shouldn't be sus. So I was like, all right, whatever. They were both like drunk out of their mind too. So
he literally just started, he like grabbed my shoulders, was like shaking me, and he's screaming in my face. He's like, I'm not fucking creepy. You had a terrible life. I just wanted to show you what it's like to be loved, because I know you were never loved. I watched your TikToks for weeks. I learned all about you so you would learn to love me for like knowing all this stuff and treating you the way you deserve. And I'm just thinking, how is this treating me?
Give me peso, extendo. I carry bitches like a Greco.
in his shoes. So I put all the stuff in storage and I just decided to move back to my mom's house. And yes, this was in a span of a few days. So the whole time that he was gone, I was acting like everything was okay. On the last day of the trip, I sent him a text saying that I knew about everything. And I said I never wanted to hear from him again and I never wanted him to see the kids again. And he took that quite literally. I never got a text back. Well, 4 months after all this happened, I soon find out that he got a new house in North Carolina with his new wife and they have a daughter on the way. Story time about how my best friend set me up to get cheated on. So a little background information.
So I was like, look, there's a time machine group. So I climbed into it, went like 2 seconds later, and I fell through and I made a thump on the ground and everyone looked at me in silence. No one laughed. No one helped me up. Last things last, this one's not as bad. But I told some kid to shut up and it went completely silent. This kid started saying, I wore too much makeup. He was yelling at me for the whole class. Silence. The bell was battering. He was just like, you're so ugly. You wear too much makeup. You're a cake facer. Yeah. And I just stood there, took it like a champ.
Guys, it's literally been a week and I'm already on my school's gossip page. Basically,
and she only had like 7 followers, so I didn't take it to heart, but like she considered me especially to be one of her best friends, so I was like, what are you hiding from me? So I'm obviously looking through the account, and I'm not even kidding you guys, the first video I clicked, she's wearing my sweatshirt. Like, girl. And I looked through the followers to see if there were any of the people I know, because again, we go to different schools, so I don't really know anyone else from her school. And guess what? The next like 3 videos down, she's wearing my shorts. So at this point, you guys, like, I'm like, there's absolutely no way. They're going to tell you my mouth's
waiting for my mom to get home when I got a call from Will. And if you don't remember who that is, that's Autumn's dad. And of course I wasn't going to answer the phone because I was super weirded out and low-key scared. But then he left a voicemail and he was like, hey, so, I know you have the camera and this is kind of awkward, but I'm going to need it back. I can pay you whatever you want and I would prefer that we don't tell anybody about this. Sometimes I'm just really amazed at how stupid people are because as soon as my mom got home, I showed her the camera.
Hey, it's me.
Now trying to make me look like a bad person. So of course I had to stop being friends with her because why are you trying to get at my boyfriend? And why are you doing a whole bunch of things with boys that have girlfriends? Like, that's weird. And now because she's mad that me and the girls are talking about it, who she also did it to, she's posting like rumors and stuff, trying to get back. Like, not only did she try getting with all of my brothers,
get child support from him, even though I pay every fucking thing since my daughter's been born till now. He could only possibly say that my daughter's been here for 7 years. I've spent well over 80 grand, 100 grand on my child. I can say that. I can probably say he probably spent like 5,000. And that's me being generous. So I'm like, damn, bitch, like you called the cops on me. So now we try to work it out a year and a half later, and I was trying to think like,
You know I'm the face of the city, bitch. That's why you mad.
Showing her the photos and the videos, and at this point she's like, what the fuck? So surprisingly, without choking this man to death, she goes upstairs, she goes to sleep, and then the next morning she goes and has a talk with my mom. So my mom, my sister, my friend, and I, we all sat down at the buffet in the morning and had breakfast. And my dad and Ben weren't there. Well, long story short, my mom ended up saying, it's not fair that you bring all these young guys around me, da-da-da-da-da. Are you really gonna break up our family because of this? And till this day, my dad still does not know about it. Story time about how somebody stole my $12,000 dog at a house in the afternoon, after I was done with work, and after she was done with school. Well, then she calls me and she asks me if I can call off work and go up a day early with her. And I told her, no, I can't do that. I already took off a bunch of time because I was sick and for my sister's wedding. So I need the money. So after I tell her I can't go up on Thursday, I would rather go on Friday, like we said, she responds with, well, we're going on Thursday and either you can take the day off and join or not. And then I told her, I'm not driving when the whole plan was for you to drive.
Know what she was thinking, I know what I wanna see. Bust that pussy open, then I tell her bring it back.
My boyfriend at his house. I never confronted him about it. I was just one of those girls that cared way too much about what everybody else thought. Okay, now fast forward. And it was a Friday at school, and Thanksgiving break was the following day. And him and I have this whole plan to spend the whole break together, because literally a week before that, he was on vacation in North Carolina for 2 whole weeks. Well, instead of going with him after school, I decided to go home, get an overnight bag like for part 2. Part 2 about my shitty ex-boyfriend. So like I said, the original plan.
But as time went on, people kept commenting that, and I was just got to the point where I was like, okay, like, I need to check this girl's account out, like, it's getting out of hand. So I checked this girl's account out. I had to make a whole fake account because I couldn't click on her so I figured I must have been blocked or something. Like, I was like, who is this girl? Like, I don't know who she is. And I start looking through her videos, and I'm like, wow, her videos are doing really good, like, good for her. Like, okay, now let's watch.
Everyone is gonna die and no one is gonna remember you, so fuck it.
Like, we got to know each other really, really well. So yeah, I wanted her there. I invited her, and she was umming and ahhing for a bit because she wasn't sure if she had something else planned. But then she was like, no, it's fine, I got it sorted. So she sent me the money, I booked the accommodation, like £50 for the Airbnb for the whole weekend, and then like an extra 20 quid for travel. So literally the day after I booked it, she said to me, I can't come anymore. And obviously I was very disappointed by that.
Be soon, like, I'm just like, I literally just got out of a relationship. Like, I am not looking for that yet. Like that is just too much for me to talk about right now. Like, I just can't. And he was like, oh, like, that's fine. Like, you know, I'll wait for you, like, as long as I can. Like, I'll wait for you, like, as long as you want. And I was like, okay. And then a couple days go by, and we're still texting, because, like,
must be the shit if I really claim you. Bust it open, bend over, put my back in it. He addicted like it got a little.
Sort of. And she goes, have you ever thought about dating him? It was just an extremely weird, out of nowhere conversation. Anyway, so fast forward 2 weeks, I walk in the first day of school with my best friend Tommy, and Tommy and I have like every single class together. For some reason, Liv thought that we were friends and she would come and go as she pleased. Like Tommy and I would be standing at my locker, she would come over. Anyways, fast forward to chemistry. She walks in the class, winks at Tommy, like for part 2. Part 2 about the girl who used me to get with my guy. Brittany hated it whenever Mia and I would have our own conversation. And I sat in Becky's spot in gym class, and then she got mad at us because I wanted to finish my conversation with Mia. So she goes over with her other friends that literally bully Mia and I. So at the end of gym class, she walks up to both of us with Brooklyn, and she literally is just standing there. And then Brooklyn goes, "Do you need me to do it for you?" Me and I look at each other like, what the fuck is going on? And then Brittany's like, "No, I just wanted to tell you guys that I don't want to be."
They tryna be. They tryna be. She wanna be.
Person, it was literally just to spite him. It's like, yeah, your man wants to be with me, he don't want you. This is the text messages of him telling me that he was gonna break up with you. That day he called me and he was like, "Hey, do you want to hang out?" And I was shocked that he did not bring up anything that I said to his girlfriend. Like for part 3. Part 3 about how this girl and her boyfriend literally beat me up. So like I said, I told his girlfriend everything about how he didn't want her. I sent her the receipts and everything. And then she has the audacity to tell me I'm disgusting, I'm this, I'm that, saying that I'm...
Okay, so I feel like a bunch of my followers are definitely more middle school, and that's when everybody tends to have their first kiss. So let my experience be a prime example of what not to do. Okay, me and this guy, we're gonna call him Hayden. We're talking towards the end of 8th grade. And honestly, me and him were like really complicated. Like I couldn't tell if we were talking or not, but it felt like we were. Anyways, not the point. I had never kissed anybody before. And so like,
and when I say my phone, I mean my whole motherfucking phone. A bitch was going through my Snapchats, DMs, text messages, and I didn't know how to confront her because that's just weird. So the one day I was getting ready at her house because we were about to go out, and she was like, "I'm grounded, can I use your phone real quick?" And I was like, "Yeah, just let me Snapchat this last person back." And she goes, "No," and rips the phone out of my hand. And she starts going through my Snapchat right in front of me. And I had a streak with this kid named Nick. She goes up to me and says, "What the fuck?"
That very well. There was also a couple times where he saw my little sister, who was 15 or 16 at the time, waiting for the bus, and he like refused to let her take the bus. Like he was trying to give her money so that she could take a cab, which by itself is not bad. Knowing what we knew, it was like, stay away from her. And she was pretty creeped out too. Like she went and she told my mom, and there was one time where he was like insisting that she take the money, that she kind of just had to take it so that he would like leave her alone. And my mom actually had...
She was still sleeping, and I was reading through the list, and it was just normal stuff like nap time at 2 o'clock, no pop after 7 o'clock, that sort of stuff. And then it had an arrow pointing towards the back. And when I flipped the page over, it said, "By the way, Autumn is scared to bathe by herself, so please get a shower with her." And I was not comfortable with that, so I called my mom and I told her about it, like for part 2. Part 2 about why I will never ever babysit ever again. So like I said, my mom walks in because she had been waiting outside for 25 minutes at this point. So my mom called the cops and I pretty much won. My head wasn't shaved, I got a new set of teeth the next day, and her boyfriend still hits me up. Story time about how my boyfriend's best friend tried to ruin our relationship. So a little background information. My boyfriend used to be best friends with this one girl. We're gonna call her Jamie. Well, Jamie and my boyfriend were best friends for years. And their friendship was more flirty than anything. Well, him and I got to know each other during track season. So we were always hanging out after school. And some piece of fucking plywood on my side of the fence if you're not going to be doing anything on yours to prevent my dog from going into your yard. And they were like, "Oh, well, your old neighbors never took out the doggy door." And my dad was like, "That's not our fucking fault." Well, then our new neighbors said, "If your dog all of a sudden becomes sick or just does not come back, don't be surprised." My dad decided to replace the door himself. Well, once Gabe realized that the doggy door was gone, when we would let him outside, he would literally just sit there and bark at the fence. Well, 2 weeks later, Gabe ended up passing away. And we found out it's because our...
It really sends chills down my spine. And then, after I laughed, this man's whole demeanor, like, flipped. He was just... went from, like, a soft, like, gaze to, like, a creepy fucking weirdo, like, gaze. He was like, "Why are you laughing?" And I'm like... I don't know. And then he just started talking about like, "Oh, like, you're gonna move in here with me, like,
we're clear that I I can't take responsibility if you drop out. If you drop out, then that's on you. So I said to her, I can't give you the Airbnb money back, but I can give you the money for the travel back. So I can pay your £20 back, but the 50 quid, I can't give that to you. And she started guilt tripping me, saying that she needs to send money back home and that like her family are really struggling. I was just in a position where I couldn't do anything. I can't afford for people dropping out. I said, well, if you drop out and then someone else drops out, then I'm going to be paying so much money, and that's really, really unfair on me.
Get ready with me while I tell you why me and my old best friends aren't best friends anymore. So, to start you off, we've been friends for almost a year. A weird thing I noticed, like, beginning in our friendship is that she went for a lot of guys that had girlfriends, and especially her friends, and I did not like that. And also, a lot of the time she tried getting with those guys, she had a boyfriend, so she was cheating on her boyfriend with guys who had girlfriends.